What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including some in WWE didn't want this happening to Roman Reigns, John Cena's appearance has changed everything, Logan Paul breaks silence on his botched spot at Money in the Bank, is Drew McIntyre stuck in WWE until WrestleMania 40, Uso vs Uso at Wrestlemania, a wrestler says he's not dead, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Now first story looks at some in WWE didn't want this actually happening to Roman Reigns. Or should Jey Uso have pinned Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank? Roman, who hasn't taken a pinfall loss since December 2019, finally counted the lights, but not everyone in WWE Creative seems to agree with the move. WrestleVotes is reporting, there was a feeling of trepidation from a high-ranking creative member in crafting the finish for this past Saturday's Bloodline match. A strong argument that Reigns shouldn't have been pinned prior to losing the title was present throughout the process. A rumor has it Jey Uso will challenge Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship at SummerSlam, and theoretically, Jey's pinfall should build anticipation whether Roman is finally going to drop the title. However, with rumors of Roman facing Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, some fans may not be buying the latest tease that Roman's reign is nearing its conclusion. What do you guys think? Should Roman have been pinned? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, John Cena's Money in the Bank appearance has changed everything. John Cena wants the WWE to bring WrestleMania to London, and now Cena's comments have parliamentary officials on board to make it happen. BBC.com is reporting that several MPs, members of Parliament, are eager for London to host the Showcase of the Immortals. Alex Davis-Jones is the co-chair of the all-party parliamentary group APPG on wrestling and says legendary grappler turned Hollywood actor John Cena's appearance was a real shock. Nobody predicted John Cena coming out and announcing the possibility of a WrestleMania in the UK, she tells BBC Newsbeat. It was utterly incredible and got the whole place buzzing with excitement about the possibilities of what could mean for wrestling fans, but also for the UK economy and also for future fans as well. Now, as we noted in our recent story on Mania making its way to the UK, there'd likely have to be some money changing hands to encourage the WWE to bring their show to swinging London. WWE wants cities and countries to pay them to take events there in return for the boost it brings to the local economies. Now before Cena's appearance, there was literally no interest of bringing WrestleMania to London, as the WWE would have brought Clash at the Castle there, and instead it went to Wales. Having WrestleMania at Wembley Stadium would be huge. Next up, Logan Paul breaks silence on botched spot at Money in the Bank. A YouTuber turned WWE superstar Logan Paul has impressed fans and wrestlers alike with his performances, but that wasn't the case at Money in the Bank after he botched a spot against Ricochet during the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Logan discussed the situation during his Impulsive podcast, candidly confessing why he failed to pull off the move. Ricochet and I were supposed to do what's called a Spanish fly off the top rope, so one of our legs is on the rope, one of our legs is on the ladder. We were supposed to hit it at the same time, and when we hit that rope, it was before me, so he moved it, so I slipped down all the way to the bottom. Keep in mind, I'm a noob. I don't really know what I'm doing out there, so when stuff goes wrong, I don't really know how to improv. Unfortunately, improv is a big part of the grappling game, especially when it comes to high-flying spots like the one Paul and Ricochet failed to pull off. So in my head, I'm like, how is this guy? This is effed. We effed this up. How is this guy gonna do this? Is he even gonna do this? Our legs are all twisted up like this. I'm looking at him, I'm like, oh, this MFer is still trying to send this. I'm not even ready. His feet aren't even planted. Off the second rope, just hawks a backflip. I'm like, alright. Paul explained he wasn't injured other than some scrapes, and thankfully he didn't suffer a concussion. They wasted no time turning the blown spot into an angle as Ricochet and Logan brawled on Raw with the talk the two will square off at SummerSlam. Next up is Drew McIntyre stuck in WWE until WrestleMania 40. How much longer is Drew McIntyre locked down to his WWE deal? That's the question being asked after the Scottish Warrior returned to the ring at Money in the Bank following a lengthy absence. In case you haven't been following our news, McIntyre's WWE contract was reportedly set to expire around the end of 2023. However, there's a report that McIntyre's injury-related absences could keep him in the WWE much longer. Fightful and Dave Meltzer have reported on this, and Meltzer had this to say on the Wrestling Observer Radio. I mean, we have to wait and see. With the time that he's had off, I think that they could legally extend him through WrestleMania, probably if not pretty damn close. So I mean, it's a long way off, but he's not signed a new deal. It's obvious he's wrestling Gunther at SummerSlam. The WWE lit the fuse for a one-on-one match between Drew and Gunther by having McIntyre lay out the ring general after Gunther defeated Riddle at Money in the Bank. Next up, WWE praised two superstars for brutal bout. It looks like WWE officials were pleased with the July 3rd match on Raw between Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley and Natalya, at least according to a recent report from Fightful Select. They reported heard from higher-ups during WWE Raw on July 3rd who were very happy with the gritty nature of the Natalya vs Rhea Ripley match. In fact, one was in contact with us to tell us it should be the first thing we watch when traveling back from Money in the Bank. Unlike Natalya's past two bouts against the Eradicator, this was no squash as the Queen of Hearts gave it her all despite coming up short. It was a hard-hitting match with Fightful reporting both women were said to have taken a real beating during the match and laid in strikes and ended up being happy with the match, the reaction backstage and online. Ripley got her mouth busted open, but we've heard that both women backstage told others how much fun they had. They haven't given Ripley much competition since she captured the women's title, a move that never looked good for a new champion. What do you guys think of the match though? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Uso vs Uso at Wrestlemania. The Usos have been involved in some of the biggest matches in the modern WWE history, including main eventing WrestleMania 39's first night. However, there's one Mania match that hasn't happened yet and they're hoping to make it reality down the road. Jay and Jimmy chatted with BT Sports' Ariel Helwani, revealing their ultimate goal, a brother versus brother bout at WrestleMania. Main event, Jey Uso said, "Before our career is done, that's our #1 dream of happening, me versus him at WrestleMania. It's like back in the living room. From day one, this is what we always wanted to do. I wanted my dad to be involved. I want my whole family to run this thing. Me being against my brother, my heart would be filled with joy." A brother versus brother bout at WrestleMania should be easy for Jay and Jimmy to get given their high ranking status in WWE. Of course, this wouldn't be the first time two brothers battle at WWE Show of Shows, as Owen and Bret Hart famously fought at WrestleMania 10, and of course Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy at WrestleMania 25. Next up, the Judgment Day is headed to NXT. Batten down the hatches as Judgment Day are headed to NXT to confront Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. WWE tweeted a video of Finn Balor warning the two black and gold brand superstars to prepare for an appearance by the entire group. The Judgment Day had some internal strife between Damian Priest and Finn Balor, so fans will likely be watching things closely when the Raw faction collides with two of NXT's most popular stars. Will anyone else from NXT or even Raw get involved into the mix? That's a situation WWE is likely hoping fans will tune into next Tuesday to find out. Next up, was Charlotte Flair a last-minute addition to the Asuka-Belair program? Charlotte Flair is often perceived by some fans as a superstar who disappears for months only to return and swoop in for another world title win. However, Fightful Select is reporting that's not the case with Flair's recent return when she grabbed a WWE Women's Championship shot against Asuka. They noted the WWE planned for Flair's return long before the current three-way rivalry between Flair, Belair and Asuka, the idea being the WWE wanted to elevate Asuka a bit before throwing both Flair and Belair at her. Rumour has it that all three superstars will battle at SummerSlam. And finally, a wrestler says he's not dead. Last but not least, good news for former WCW enhancement talent The Gambler, as it turns out he's not dead, despite previous reports that he passed on to the great squared circle in the sky. Jeff Gann, who played the Gambler in WCW, recently appeared on the Talk Is Jericho podcast to clear things up. To my knowledge, there was a gentleman by the name of Russell Stallings that was using the name The Gambler. He's the one that passed away. Condolences to his family. It's a sad thing, but I'm glad it wasn't me. Jeff Gann played a pivotal role in Jericho's WCW career back in '96 as Chris was going through a time when he'd been criticized for a match and he started to doubt himself. His match against the Gambler restored his confidence, a match Jericho will never forget. Now, this isn't our first time a wrestler has been reported to have passed away only to turn up alive. You may recall the story of former WWF superstar Corporal Kirshner, aka Michael James Penzel, whose death was reported by WWE.com back in 2006 due to a mistake over Kirshner's given name. However, Corporal Kirshner did pass away on December 22, 2021 after suffering a heart attack. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news and rumours you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.